Hello there, this is Doc for 60OF Reviews, with my unedited initial impressions of Foglands, recently released on the Quest store. Now, as you'll be able to see, it's a first-person, shooty, explore, upgrade 'em up, with a steampunky western aesthetic, clearly inspired by the likes of Borderlands. There's also a definite feel of SteamWorld Dig, which is a 2D game, an excellent 2D platformer, on a vaguely similar mining theme. I had an hour or so with the game earlier, and, well, I was initially, I won't say impressed. I initially thought it was okay. It was going to be okay. The art style is quite nice. There's a character who seems to be the devil of some description, but he's got a big black hat and black coat and a big black train. And if you know me at all, then you probably realise those things appeal to me somewhat. Unfortunately, it seems to be another example of a game on the Quest which is technologically deficient. The art style is nice enough, some of the ideas are okay, and what it's asking you to do is fun, but technically it's all over the place. There is jitter, there is jank, there are frame rate issues, the combat feels spectacularly empty, the holstering of weapons is fiddly and unintuitive, there's a lack of audio-visual feedback and haptics for when you're firing guns, for when you're shooting enemies. It just feels really by the numbers in a way that the art style would not have you think that at all, really. And it's incredibly difficult just on the hour that I've spent for it. If I'd bought this, I would have refunded it. I'd imagine the PC version has led development and everything on the Quest has been kind of downgraded. I would certainly hope that they hadn't aimed to make this a Quest game initially, because most of all, it's just perplexing. I presume the levels are... there's an element of roguelike going on here, because a lot of the levels seem to be built around certain building blocks of rooms. But sometimes a room will load as you're halfway across it, or halfway down a corridor. You've just passed an open door, a door that opens, rather, and that would have been a good example if the level had to load some more of the level. That would have been a good example of a time when loading would have been okay. But instead, you're halfway across a room and it loads. If you remember the likes of Half-Life, you'll remember how jarring that can be. And that was a long time ago now. In VR, it's even worse, because it's like you're being hit over the head every time the game stops to load. There are some abysmal textures you might see in this video. The fire textures on some of the open fires are the worst I have ever seen. It seems to be a sort of 10-pixel map that's been rotated. Even Duke Nukem had better fire effects than this nearly 30 years ago. So technically it just doesn't feel... I understand what they're trying to do with this, but it doesn't feel very good to play at all, and that's my honest opinion. There are some of these things which might be patchable, but other things just lead to a general lack of direction in terms of what the game wants to be. There are plenty of other games on the Quest that are better than this and do a similar sort of thing. And I don't really understand, other than a certain aesthetic. I mean, if you like the kind of steampunky western, it's going after a Borderlandsy feel. There's no two ways about it, except that the gunplay isn't there, and the interest isn't there, and it's really technically deficient. So I got on a little bit better than Omar, the editor of this esteemed channel, who said that once he'd had half an hour on it, he really didn't ever want to play this game again. So what Foglands is going to get from us for now is this: just some unfettered opinions Neither of us who've played it have enjoyed it very much. We don't think the feel is there. There are lots of titles that are similar already out on the Quest store that are clamouring for your attention and your money, and our advice to you would be save it. It really isn't worth the entrance fee for this particular experience. This is Doc for 60OF Reviews. We'll see you further on down the trail.